This is J. Krishnamurti's 12th discussion with teachers and students at Brockwood Park, 1975.
What shall we talk about this morning?
So would it be useful to go into the problem that seems to bother many people, which is to see what you're talking about clearly and on a verbal intellectual level, but then it disappears or it doesn't continue to translate itself into action that is more than momentary.
Are you asking why is it that we aren't serious? Why is it that we are rather superficial and verbally inclined? Is that it?
What is the depth of seeing something of which you speak, and so few of the rest of us seem to be able to reach?
I understand. So shall we first talk about, if that's what you want to talk about, why we are superficial, if we are, why we translate every perception, every observation into a concept, into a formula, into an imaginative conclusion. Shall we discuss that? Would that interest you?
In that, you also go into the case of perhaps seeing very clearly for a short space of time, but then one loses it.
Yes, we'll go into all that. Is this what the students, is this what you want? You're serious? I hope so anyhow, at least for this half an hour at least. You know...
Could I just say that from a recent school meeting, a question was raised that we have problems here, but we don't really deal with them.
Yes.
Could that be included in some way?
Yes, we'll try to bring all these things here. You know, when you read a book, they are lateral, aren't they? From left to right. And Chinese and Japanese go from the bottom up. The Arabic is from left to right, right to left. Always lateral. Isn't that so? Have you noticed it? And is our thinking also inclined or educated to be lateral? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Linear?
Huh?
Linear?
Linear, I beg your pardon. Linear, line. Sorry, that's what I meant. Have you noticed that? Left to right. And we are conditioned to think in lines. Have you noticed it? That's one fact. Then the other is that we like words. And words become a cage in which thought operates. The words are created by thought. There is no thinking, which we'll go into much if we want to. Is there a thinking without words? And having thought in words creates a verbal cage in which we are caught. The thought is caught. And not only caught, our actions are caught. Have you noticed this? Or am I going too fast? First, I said there is the linear thinking.
Linear thinking bring, it follows in some kind of order?
Some kind of
order.
Some kind of order. Verbal order. Logic. Verbal order. It's all constructed by thought, isn't it? You can think insanely, neurotically, but it's still thinking. So there is, let's go into it slowly. There is linear thinking, because we're used to that. Then words create the thought, images, imaginations, and in those words act as a framework in which we operate. Go through. That's one point. Third point is, as we were talking yesterday, we had a dialogue. We have every Saturday afternoon a dialogue between Dr. Baum and myself. Yesterday we were talking about something very, very interesting, which is words, images we worship. A symbol we worship, not what is behind the word, behind the symbol. That is, suppose you climb a great mountain. You have to struggle, climb, and then you come up there, right to the top, and you see a most marvelous thing. And I remain in the valley. You come down and describe to me what you have seen, the wonders of it, the beauty of it, the color of the lake, the sky, the clouds, the extraordinary quality of air. And I listen to you, and the description is enough for me. You understand? And I worship that description. You follow? So, there is this linear thinking, verbal structure, and which thought clings to, and we live in that framework. Then there is the description, and being satisfied with the description, which again are words. All these are words, right? You paint a picture, and I look at it and say, how wonderful. And you follow? I worship that picture. So, there are these three things: imagination, a pictorial imagination, or a verbal imagination, or a symbolic imagination, which are still the operations of thought in words, in symbols, in picture. So this is it. As long as we do this, live on the verbal level, which is generally intellectual level, how can you go very deeply? You understand? So that's the problem. Then we were discussing yesterday with Dr. Baum. Can I put it into words? It's very difficult what we were discussing. I'll try to describe a little bit. Describe. And when I describe, you're satisfied with the description. Therefore, you're satisfied with the word. And you think, but Joe, I've understood. It's like reading a menu in a restaurant, and that's enough, and you think you have eaten. We do, that is what we do all our life. So we remain superficial. Then there is the problem from this superficiality, desire. You understand? That is, I long for, I wish I were, I long or hope to achieve, all verbal constructions. So one lives in a world of words, symbols, imagination, and we are satisfied by that. If you observe, you have been to churches, any of you? Have you? What, you Christians, you haven't been to churches? What's the idea? There are the images, crosses, and so on. Again, those are symbols. Symbols which represent your hopes. And the hope deriving from desire to be something like that or go beyond. It is still verbal. I desire that car. I long for that car. I hope to have that car. The car is a reality, is a fact, is there. But the pleasure I'm going to have in getting it and driving it is imagination. I haven't got it. You're following all this? So, desire, which we were discussing yesterday, much more complex, we won't go into it. Desire implies intrinsically in it there is pleasure. Pleasure is what I am going to have when I get the car, which is imagination. A verbal imagination of what I am going to get. And I take pleasure in that picture, me driving a car. So, we live like this. Our religions, through their symbols, assertions, beliefs, dogmas, are all statements of a supposed reality, a verbal structure, a cross, a symbol, or a painting. Those are all linear thinking, verbal structures, imaginations in which the mind lives, is caught. Right? Do you see this? Contradict me. You understand?
I don't see, but I say that it's always verbal.
I'm coming to that, sir.
The pleasure of driving a car is not verbal, nor is the imagination of that pleasure verbal.
Oh, no, I said, sir, please. I haven't got the car. I see the car. And from that arises the desire to own a car. The desire I shall be driving when I get it.
I would say it's a mental picture.
And it's a picture. It's imagination. It's a picture. I said.
Yes, but a word is only one kind of mental picture.
I said, so there's the word, there is the symbol, there is the picture, there is imagination, and so on. Now, how can a mind, your mind, living always on that linear level, penetrate deeply? You understand the question? Have you understood my question? Suppose I live always at the verbal level. You understand what I mean by verbal level now? At the imaginative level, in the hopeful level, in the pictorial level, in the verbal level. How can I go deeply if I'm always living on that level? You've understood my question? Now you answered. You answer me. This is a dialogue between you, the students, and me. I'm asking you, if I'm always living in the structure in the verbal structure, superficial, how am I to go very deeply into it? Deeply. Or understand very deeply. You understand my question? Grace? Do you? What, sir? What? I don't know if you keep silent. I don't know whether you do or don't. Now my problem then arises, how am I, who have been conditioned by culture, society, church, all to live on that superficial level, how am I to go very deeply? Tell me.
The word of the picture may be a vehicle of what is going on deep.
Maybe that's what maybe doctor says. The verbal imaginative level may be an intimation of something very deep. You understood? I have an imagination, see something imaginatively, and that may tell me there's something very, very, very deep in me. That's what the doctor says. Is that so? See, first of all, don't accept a thing. Don't say, yes, I see. Just find out if what the speaker is saying is true or false. Don't accept it. You investigate it. Neither accepting nor rejecting, but investigating. Now, how am I, who have lived at that superficial level, which we know what we mean by superficial level, to penetrate deeply? I read books, both complicated, superficial, thrillers, detective, academic books, and so on. All words.
Certainly, if you had a verbal picture, an imagination that excluded a deeper level, if you said there is no deeper level, then that would seem obviously to block you from ever seeing if there was a
if I say that's the only level I live at, that's the only true level. What do you mean? Why talk about deeper level? There may be no deeper level at all. You understood my question? Go into it. What happens to a human being who lives only at that level all his life?
One form of pattern. One is
superficial always will be patterned out.
That is, I move from one pattern to another. Is that what you're saying? Let's go on, otherwise we'll be stuck. Now, are you who are listening to the description, to the words? You've understood the meaning of words now, after explaining the meaning. You have understood the meaning. You have understood the words. The word, you have heard the word, and you understand the meaning of that word, the significance, and so on. Now, are you aware that you are living at the verbal superficial level? Are you aware? Do you know? Or I am telling you, therefore you say, I am aware. You see the problem? Oh, come on, huh? Some of you. Because I described to you that you are living at the superficial level, verbal level, called intellectual level, and say, are you aware of it? So are you aware of the fact or the description of the fact?
Going from the description to the fact.
Are you going from the description to the fact? Huh? Come on, what do you say? You don't know? What do you mean you don't know?
Well, I think you need time to think away.
I think now, not tomorrow. You are here. Wait, just hold a minute. I don't move from this because he hasn't got it. He says I'll have to think about it. I have to go into it.
I see it. I see it.
You see it. That you are aware from the description the fact. Aware of the fact. Therefore you put aside the description.
No.
Wait, go slowly. Stick to it. The fact, you understand? And the description is something else. The word door is different from the actual fact of a door. Right?
You can have both.
Huh?
You can have both.
Of course. I say the door, there's the verbal statement and the description of a particular door. But the description, the word, is not the actual fact of the door. Right? When you see it, it's not a description. Now, I have described the verbal process that we live superficially. I have described it. I say, are you aware of the description? And so the description makes the fact a reality. Or are you aware without the description, the fact? You see the difference? Now, wait a minute, let's go slowly. Hunger, you know what hunger is, don't you? I describe to you that I tell you that you are hungry. See the difference? I tell you are hungry, and so you must say, well, I am really hungry from that because I describe what hunger is. Or you are actually hungry. You got it? Bene, shall we go on?
I would like to ask a question. Can we see the fact through this description?
Now, are you aware? Listen, Tunki, are you aware of the description which may lead you to the fact, or are you aware of the fact? I may describe, but you say, yes, I know I live at that level. Sleeping.
Fact may be there before you describe.
Maybe that's not the point, sir. That's not the point. Fact may be there, but are you aware of the fact? Which is, are you aware that you are living at that superficial level? That's the fact. Are you aware of that fact?
I have a difficulty here. May I try to
Surely, sir.
express it? You point to the microphone and ask me to look at it. Previously, I was looking out the window. I didn't see it. You say, there is a microphone, look and you'll see it. And I see it. But I don't see it as a microphone unless I have knowledge of what microphones are, the concept of a microphone. So that even in seeing the microphone, there is some kind of background which...
Yes, sir.
The fact, what is the fact?
No, wait.
Is it just
No, wait, I'm going to... You and I have agreed to call the microphone the microphone. You and I have... on the word, the meaning of the word describes this. You and I have agreed. If we say that is a what? A serpent, we can say that's a serpent. If we all agree that's a serpent. The actual word is microphone, isn't it? The name of this instrument, we have all agreed to call it a microphone. If we all agreed that's a snake, it's all right, we'll call it a snake.
It isn't quite what I meant.
And I think I've understood, sir. Now, you are asking what is a fact?
Yes. What makes that combination of black and white and shape a microphone?
So,
What I first see is form.
I can't tell you what is inside the microphone.
On the inside, but how do I know that that's an agglomeration of shapes? Is a microphone. It's because
Yeah, but we have called this beastly thing microphone.
But I recognize it.
That's all, through the word. Now, let's go back. We come to what you are saying. Am I aware of the fact that I am living superficially, verbally? Now, we went into the question of what being aware, didn't we? Did I go over it? Yes? All right. Are you aware of the fact of this hall? The color, the shape of the roof, the windows, the proportions of the hall? Are you aware of it? That means, do you see it?
We're aware now when you're pointing it to us, but do we have to be aware all the time when we're even...
Yeah, I'm asking, no, of course, because you're not here all the time.
No, but when we're here and you're talking to us, we must more or less pay attention to what you're saying.
Obviously.
And therefore, do we exclude the rest?
Huh?
Do we exclude the rest when you're paying attention?
Now, wait. Now, when you pay attention to what is being said, did you not pay attention to all that when you came in?
Yes.
Huh? When you came into the room, you looked at all this. And having carefully looked, is finished. Now, you won't look and say, well, I'm looking at that roof, but you are paying attention to what is being said. Because that is outside the field of attention for the moment.
And so all this was after we came in, we said, and we take it for granted afterwards.
That's right. Now I want to go on. Are you aware that you are living at a verbal level? The verbal level may be 10 inches deep or very high, but it's still a verbal movement. Now, if you are aware that one is living at the superficial level, then what is implied? What happens to a mind that lives at a superficial level?
It becomes very complex, very sophisticated.
Does it become complex?
So if you see that you are living at a superficial level, with a superficial level, you remain perhaps a superficial.
No, it's much more complex. Please, don't reduce. You go into it, you will see it. The results of a superficial mind, what it does, its activities, whether in the world of art, in the world of science, in the world of human relationship, in the world of beauty, in the world of creation, and so on, so on, so on. What happens to a superficial mind when it's living there?
It's very restricted.
All right, it's limited. Go on. Investigate. Don't stop there. Go on.
It becomes mechanical as Philip
It becomes, all right, it becomes mechanical. Now we have discovered two things. What did you say, sir?
Restricted.
Restricted. Limited, mechanical. Go on, investigate. Don't just throw out words.
Neurotic. What's neurotic?
He says neurotic. Why? Am I neurotic when I believe some dogma of the church? You understand what I'm saying? Am I neurotic when the Catholics believe, as a Catholic, suppose I'm a Catholic, I believe that Virgin Mary ascended heaven physically. Millions accept it. That's one of the dogmas of the church. You may say, that is absurd. But I believe it. Suppose I believe it. I've been conditioned to believe it. I've been brought up to believe it. Would you call me neurotic? Huh? Go on.
If it stops there.
It has stopped there, old boy. Am I neurotic?
No.
Why not? Why not?
Because I too have been brought up with my beliefs and all that. All that I believe in.
Neurotic is when you are in a contradiction, isn't it?
No. A distorted thinking, a distorted rationalization, based on fear, based on hope, based on pleasure. Catch me out, please, somebody.
Obviously, this is neurotic.
But millions believe. I'm on up to poor chap.
Is it the fact that basing one's life on hope, on pleasure,
fear is the actual mechanism that makes the mind neurotic, because it's such a narrow box that one...
So, I have discovered something. Limited, right? Mechanical, operating in patterns. If the old pattern is not sufficient, or not pleasurable, not effective, I move superficially, create a new pattern, operate in that. If that is not efficient, I move another, or I go back to the old one. So I found this, which is mechanical operation, right? A mechanical movement, limited, mechanical. And we said, a mind that lives superficially is satisfied with superficial things, right? Like a symbol, it's satisfied. It is satisfied that Virgin Mary went up to heaven physically. So, I've discovered something, that a mind living superficially is satisfied with symbols, however neurotic they are.
But the satisfaction is very tenuous.
I mean, tenuous?
Yes, it's always subject to... If one's satisfaction is based on these...
Will you tell that to the Pope?
Oh, well...
Wait. You tell him. You may tell him. But he's a poor chap. That woman doesn't know what she's talking about. Wait, look at it. So, you see, a rational belief, however rational, however so-called accepted, traditional, and millions believe, probably is neurotic. So, all belief is neurotic. So I've discovered three things. And a superficial mind has extraordinary desires, which is pleasure. I long for something which will give me pleasure. I long for a position which will give me pleasure. I long to be like you. You have money, position, beauty, intelligence, and popularity, status, and all the rest of it. That gives me I want that. That gives me pleasure. So I've discovered 5 things, right? That a human mind living superficially is satisfied with superficial things, from which it derives great pleasure. Nightclubs, modern civilization, which is mechanical, limited, neurotic, right? Nobody's contradicting.
Can we look at this business of looking? Because it seems that in the process of looking for something else, true, the mechanical mind thinks if they're as rich as their neighbor, they will then be happy. But the fact is, usually, when they get to that position, again, they're looking again.
That means, that's it. I said that. Move from one object of pleasure to another.
Yes, but is there, it's something in the human beings that, in a sense, there must be some spark, that there is something else.
That is a supposition. You are saying there must be something else. How do you know?
It happens sometimes in art, in literature and music, that as you pursue a work, say a Shakespeare play or a symphony, the more you go into it, the more it seems to reveal.
What is revealed? What is revealed? Please answer me. What is revealed?
Well, I don't know what it is, but it seems to be deeper.
No, I would like to know. You tell me what is revealed. I read Keats' poem, Ode to a Nightingale. What is revealed? The beauty, the extraordinary words he uses, the symbols, the description.
More than the words.
No, Peter, I am drawing. There are words put together most beautifully. There are words from the description I derive great delight and enjoyment. When he says, marvelous poet, when he says something, it delights me. I derive pleasure from the beauty of those words, from those descriptions, the way he has put it. It's great delight, the beauty of it. So you say, what is beauty? So I say, wait, sir, look at it, I can add lots more. We said limited, a superficial mind, that is a mind that lives on conclusions, words, on descriptions, words, on symbols manufactured by thought in certain shape and so on, or imagination. And we say all beliefs which are the product of thought based on fear are neurotic. And also we say when a superficial mind lives at that level, it must always have a movement of pleasure from one thing to the other. One day the pub, next day God, next day something else, and move along the same pattern. Sex, non-sex, whatever it is. New ideals, communism, socialism, you follow the whole thing. I'm not saying the results of action yet. That is the fact. Right, sir? Do you see it? Now, do you see this is what is happening to you? I say something to you, listen to this carefully. I say something to you, and it hurts you. You understand? I say to you, you're a fool. Or you tell me I'm a fool, much better. You tell me I'm a fool. The word has certain meaning. A word is an ugly word. I associate that word with ugliness, and I think I'm very clever, and you call me a fool. I have an image of myself, a verbal image, a symbol of myself, and you call me a fool, and that image gets hurt. Right? So, as long as I live superficially, my thinking must be limited. However extensive it is still limited. It must be mechanical. It must inevitably become neurotic, whether a million accept it or don't accept it. Belief becomes a neurotic, and a mind that's always wanting something, craving, clinging, hoping. Right? Are you aware that you're doing this? Do you know that you're doing this? That's where you live. Yes, sir? Come. Huh? Huh?
Perhaps.
Do you say, perhaps that's the door, and walk through that wall?
No, I wouldn't say the door.
You can't say, perhaps, to the door, or to the wall.
The door is the fact.
Is this a fact to you? Is this a fact to you? Or would you like to gloss over it? Or would you like to say, no, it's not quite like that, it's something more? No, it's not like that. It is really love. It's really beautiful. Would you like to say that? It's divine. Would you? Now, if you say it's divine, right? Now, oh la la. If you say there is something more, not the door, something more than this superficial way we are living, then it is love, then it is beauty, then it is something divine. So you have to go in then. What do you mean by that word love? Huh?
I don't think it's love.
What I want to know, when you say, darling, I love you, what do you mean by that?
I lost the key between that and superficial.
And no, you haven't understood. I said, somebody said over there's something much more than this superficiality. I said, what is it? It can be either love, beauty, divinity, or something which you can't be put into words. I said, leave something which cannot be put into words, then let's find out if there is something more. Is it love? Is it beauty? Is it something which you call divine, which man has said there is divinity and described that divinity in various forms, in various symbols, in all the cultures? So you have to investigate this. Right? Are you all here, or am I talking to myself? Huh? Right? Is love superficial?
It can be, well, it would be superficial and be love.
You are love. I'm not, it can be. You love a girl or a boy, or you love your father, mother, or love something or other.
When we speak about it, it becomes superficial.
Oh,
Because
you don't
we
think
recognize.
so what you don't think about is not superficial. I don't think about you, Therefore, my relationship with you is very deep. Tunki, see how tricky the words are. How we are easily caught by words. Right? So, are you aware that you are living at this level of superficiality? Now, if you are really aware, in the sense as factual as this, and as actual as that wall. You understand? What happens? Come on, sir. Come, tell me.
You're not used by this fact we're living in the superficial level. You're not used by this superficiality, but you rather know it. So you're not caught by the superficiality.
So you are different from the superficiality? And investigate it. Are you different from the word, from the limited, from the mechanical mind, from the neurotic beliefs, from the desire says, I hope to be something, I long for something? Are you different from all that? So you are that.
But you do have it. You do have it. I mean, and you wouldn't be without having it. I mean, you wouldn't live without having it. All of us have it. And we can't discard it just like
I never did. I said, so, don't discard it.
So we have it still.
So you are limited. You are mechanical. You are neurotic in that sense we have used. You are longing for something, groping after something, clinging to something. Right? All pleasure, fear. You're all that. You are that. Right? What do you mean? Don't scratch your chin. See the actuality of it. All right. If you say I am all that, then what? Huh?
You are all that.
Yes, I understand.
That's what we say.
Go. Yes, sir.
Look, if you are all that,
then
how
what
can
happens?
you see something?
Then what happens?
I don't know.
No, I don't think we really see it that we are all that. We see it in a partial thing, but we don't see the complete
You see
thing.
it partially. You see one moment or one day that you are limited. Next day that you are neurotic. Third day you see that all your activities, your behavior, the way you look and observe and talk are mechanical. That you are longing for something. A verbal picture projected by desire as pleasure. And the fourth day you say, oh, for God's sake, I'm fed up with all this. And so you keep moving, do you? Huh? At what level? At the same level.
Yes.
Therefore limited.
Yes.
So you are always moving within the limited area of words, of hope, and so on. You are that, aren't you? The movement is not separate from you, is it? No. So what will you do? What do you do then?
I have the impression that some of us are confused between two things: being the superficiality and having it. Do you see what I mean? I have the impression that one has it, but you were saying we are it.
Absolutely.
Is there a difference between having it and being it?
I don't quite see having it and being.
Having it means, I'm here, and the superficiality is something that belongs to me, but I'm different.
Sentence, sir.
But being it is, there's nothing else but that.
Isn't there? I'm asking, show me.
Those are the two.
They're not the two, show me. You say, I am not all that. I am different. The difference is, I am not mechanical, I am not limited, I am not neurotic, I am not hoping for something. But all that is put on me. all that is outside of me.
Yes, I think that's a way one often feels.
What is the actuality? I may feel one day marvelously beautiful, I mean inside, or I'm terribly clever. But what is the actual fact?
So you get to a point and then stop. Because I get to a point where I can see that I do have beliefs, and I can see that I do have images, and I can see all that, but I don't know what to do with it.
I'm going to show you.
So
I'm going to show you what to do with it, but you refuse to move from. Look, you see a snake, cobra. You know what a cobra is, don't you? You see it there. What do? Do you sit there, look at it, and touch it, play with it, and say how rational, how beautiful, how lovely? Do you argue with it? That's what you're doing now. When you see something dangerous, you move away. Right? Right? Are you clear on this? Come on, sir, it's obvious. When the bus is coming, hurtling along towards you, you step out of its way. Now, do you see as clearly as the bus, as the cobra, that you are living superficially?
We didn't see it as a danger, which we went with the cobra as a bus.
Pardon?
We see it as a generality.
I say no, not as a general, as an actuality, I say.
Yes, an actuality, but not a danger.
It is, wait a minute, isn't it dangerous to live in a very limited way? Come on, tell me. Because I'm very limited, what happens? I have no space. Because I'm limited and I have no space, I become violent. This had been proved. I told you that experiment they made by one of the scientists. I was told about it, I haven't read it. That they crowded, I don't know how many rats, and in one small space, thousands in a small space, very limited. They killed each other. The mother killed they killed each other. They lost all proportions, all relationship, became neurotic. Isn't that dangerous? That's one of the factors of the big cities, where everybody is crowded in a little space, because there is no, you understand? And therefore, etc., etc. So, a limited mind is a dangerous mind. A limited mind says, I am a Hindu, I am this British, or I am whatever it is. It's a limited mind, and therefore it becomes very dangerous.
Can a limited mind see that danger as long as it's limited?
Beg pardon?
Can a limited mind see that danger as long as it remains?
I'm showing it to you. If you want to listen, listen. If you say, well, sorry, I'm quite happy with my limited mind, my lovely little mind, then there is nothing more to be said. But you are a captured audience.
Well, the thing is, a part of my mind wants to find something new, but the other part wants to cling to something old, which is...
No, I understand that, because we said that, Tunki. We said we move from pattern to pattern. If one pattern doesn't satisfy, we invent another. If that doesn't satisfy, we go back to the old pattern. This is a repetition that we are doing all the time. So you see the danger because of wars. One nationality, a limited group of people say, we are that, which is a very limited mind. These are the people that have created wars. That's so a limited mind is the most dangerous mind, as dangerous as that cobra or that bus that's coming towards you. Right? Do you see the danger of it? Huh? Therefore, you are not limited. All right. Do you see the danger of a mechanical mind? Right? Danger, not as dangerous as that cobra. Do you see a neurotic mind is dangerous mind? I'm a Catholic and you're a communist. I cling to my gods, my beliefs, my dogmas, my rituals, my property, all the traditions. And you cling to Marxism, which are all words, images, and so on. So isn't that a dangerous thing? Because I, being a Catholic, have created terrible wars. Inquisition, torturing people, burning people. And the Protestants have done that too, not they burnt them, but they have brought about wars too. So, a neurotic mind is a dangerous mind. A mind that is always seeking pleasure, always wanting something new, always wanting, hoping, longing, clinging. Isn't that also a dangerous mind? Huh? Now, when you say yes, have you moved away from the danger? Huh? You have moved away. Therefore, you are not limited. You're too quick. You wait till you're married. Wait till you earn money. Wait till you've got bank account. Then you won't so quickly say yes. So you haven't penetrated into the meaning of the whole significance of a limited mind, a mechanical mind, a neurotic mind. Go on. So, when you see danger, you move away. So if you see the danger of all the things that we have described, and you actually see the fact, and so the danger, you're finished with it. So then you will find out what does it mean to have no limited mind. What does it mean? Does it mean freedom? Then what is freedom? To do what I like? What I like is a limited mind. You see the beauty of it? Come on, sir. What I want to do is a limited mind. What I want to fulfill is a limited mind. It is my identification with something. It's a limited mind. So, is freedom doing what I want to do? No? But you are doing that all day, aren't you? I'm asking you. I don't know. I don't watch you, so I don't know. I watch you sometimes from the window, but that's not a different thing. But are you, in your daily life, free, that is, not doing what you want to do, your pleasure, your opinions, your conclusions. So a free mind means no conclusion. Right? Are you living that way? I say you're a fool. No conclusion. Is it a fact or not a fact? If it is not a fact, drop it. If it is a fact, look at it. Don't get hurt. Don't get a lot of emotions about it. Right? So, freedom means not doing what one wants, nor, may I go into a little bit complicated? Nelson, all right? Nor living always in the world of reality. We said the other day, reality, please listen carefully. Reality is something that we think about or thought has created or thought has reflected upon, which are words, symbols, limitation, neuroticism, pursuing always pleasure, a mind that is living in that reality which thought has created. Such a mind is never free. So a free mind is a mind that perceives truth. I won't go into this, too complicated. Truth means something that which is actual, not imaginative, not conceptual, not verbal. I won't go into all that. That's too difficult for you. So, then, if you are not limited, if you are not mechanical, if you are not neurotic, if you are not pursuing the projections of desire as pleasure, then aren't you living then at a totally different dimension? Aren't you? Huh? Are you? Or are you merely agreeing verbally? It's too difficult. So, we said a superficial mind can never have any depth. It may invent a depth, but it is an invention of thought, not actuality. You understand the difference between the projections, the inventions, the structure thought has made, and actuality. The tree is actual, but the description of the tree is not actual, a verbal, but it has its own reality. Do you see that, or is too? Right, sir? Mr. Joe? Agree? I agree. Right. So, this movement, which is verbal, limited, mechanical, neurotic, always pursuing its desires as pleasure and so on, such a mind is a most dangerous mind. because it has created wars. It has created great deal of suffering to human beings and to itself. So, when you see that as an actuality, not as an imaginative idea or accepted description, when you actually see the fact of it, the actuality of it, as the tree, as the cobra, as the bus, then there is a totally different action. Right? Then depth, we said superficial and deep. Is the word deep? Deep. You understand? Have you understood what I've said? When you say, oh, he's a very deep man, not as a derogatory word or a cynical word or he's a very deep person. Is the depth measurable by the word? What do you say, sir?
Actually, you can't use that word anymore because it's not in that dimension.
Huh?
You can't use that word because it's not in the dimension.
What do I am using it? Simply, what do you mean I can't use it? That's what we're all doing. We say, I want to be deep. There is something I can find if my mind is very deep. Don't you say that? Huh?
You put it as the opposite of the superficial.
No, I said, look. When the superficial mind says, I must go deeply, which is what was suggested, when the superficial mind says, I must go deeply, is the depth invented by a superficial mind, and therefore that depth is not depth at all, but just a description, or is there really depth? I wonder if you understand what I mean. Am I making myself clear? I have lived all my life at that level, superficial level. And I don't know what depth or deep or something other than this. And you come along and say, look, as long as you live there, you are the most mischievous person. You show me the reasons, you show me the logic, the rationality of it, the reality of it, and I say yes. And I say then I must go very deeply, push all this out, go deeply. Is the depth a reality of thought or an actuality? You get what I'm talking about? Hein? Vous avez compris? Yeah? All right, let me put it. I say I love you. What does it mean? I like your companionship. I like to talk to you. Perhaps I have sex with you. Perhaps I am lonely and therefore I cling to you. Are you following all this? I like your face. I like what you do. I feel, and so I say, I love you. You understand? Is that love? No. Wait. This is what we say is love.
Is it love?
I'm asking you.
Well, I'm asking you.
I say, I know what I'll tell you. So, out of my emptiness, loneliness, take that. I'm lonely. You know what it means to be lonely, of course. So I cling to you, and I say, darling, I cling to you. And then because I cling to you, there's certain pleasure. I possess you. And I call that love. And you come along and say to me, is that really love? And if I listen to you, I discover it is not quite what I thought. Right? So in trying to cover up or fill my loneliness by my relationship with you, you understand? Is that love? No. Are you doing it? Good. That's the end of that. If you are actually not doing it, right? Then I say I love you because I derive physical, biological pleasure from you. Therefore, I must possess you. Therefore, I am attached to you. Is that love? No. Do you do that? Attach, possess, dominate, control? Have you told your girlfriend that you are totally detached from her? What does she say? I ask her? I ask her? She'll tell me to go and climb a tree. And you say, that's really not love at all, my girl. And she wants to cling to you. She's lonely. She wants your companionship and perhaps various other forms of pleasure. And so she clings to you. And you tell her, no, darling, that's not love. Is that it? So you are really playing a game, aren't you? A verbal game. So, but if you turn it into a reality, an actuality, what takes place? If you say that is not love, and because you see the reality of it, that's as dangerous as the cobra. When somebody clings to you and you derive pleasure from it. Therefore, that person who clings to you, when you turn away, becomes jealous, angry, hatred, venomous, divorce. So is that love? If it is not, then are you caught up in that? If you are not, then there is something totally different. We may call it love. Are you prepared? Do you want to test it? Not just, yes, I'm like that. Test it out. So, can a superficial mind know what love is? Avanti, signor, avanti. Can a superficial mind know what beauty is? Why do you say no? Then, before you say no, you must find out what is beauty. What is beauty? All the things that are in the museums? all the buildings. The tree, these clouds, the running waters, a beautiful face, a beautiful gesture, a beautiful building. Then what is beauty? And are the things that contained in the museums world over, pictures, more statues, paint, all what they contain, books. That's also beautiful. Some of them are extraordinarily beautiful, aren't they? So what is beauty? If it's only there, in the building, then it is merely a cultural conditioning, isn't it? I am conditioned to accept certain forms, certain structure, certain proportions, certain light and shade and all the rest of it. I am conditioned to say that is beautiful. And I say, yes, that's beautiful. And is that beautiful? No. So, a conditioned mind, listen to it, a conditioned mind, though it may appreciate the beauty of an expression in the wall or proportions and so on, is not really a beautiful mind. It doesn't know what beauty is. So, it's more complex, and I'll go into it.
Can I say anything beautiful? I mean,
Can you say anything beautiful if you're not beautiful?
No, if...
Tunke! Can you say anything is beautiful if inside you, in your own life, in your own way, in yourself there isn't that quality, that extraordinary sense of dignity, beauty, respect, all that is implied in beauty. If I haven't got it, and I say that's beautiful, because a million people say so, and I accept that the opinions of, is that beauty? Though it may be beautiful. Have you seen some of the Greek statues? Have you? Have you seen some of the Egyptian ones? And some of the Indian ones? And the modern painters, modern statues? Now, when you look at them, what impresses you? Go on, so what impresses you? You see Apollo. You see, the Greek statue. What appeals to you when you see that?
Expression of an emotion being created by the expression of the statue.
You see that, and you say that awakens in you an emotion. And that emotion, what? Pleasurable, hateful, disagreeable?
No, it's just an expression.
What? I'm asking you.
Say, an expression of forceful in one of the statues.
I'm clearly asking you, Tunki, stick to one thing. I'm asking you, when you look at a Greek statue, as you must have seen one, what strikes you? What happens to you? Or when you hear some marvelous music, what happens to you?
You
your mind stops chattering.
Huh?
And your mind just stops chattering, and you become
So,
that music.
wait, what happens? You say the mind stops chattering. Hmm? What does that indicate?
That you and the music are one.
What? And what does it indicate? Go deep. Of course, you say that we are one. I'm not sure, but go on.
That the unity between you, there's a unity between the experience and the experiencer,
Yes.
and that that all else that is what's happening then.
Wait a minute. Have you seen a boy or a girl absorbed in a toy? He's completely absorbed. And he doesn't rush about, he doesn't tear things. What has happened there?
The same
Go slowly. What has happened there? Before the boy was naughty, tearing around, chasing, you follow? And you give him a toy, and he's completely absorbed in that toy. What happened?
It's giving his complete attention to it.
The toy has absorbed him. No?
Forgotten.
Wait, just look at it before you jump on me. Take away that toy, and he's all over the place. Right? The toy, the music, the marvelous dignity of a mountain, the splendor of it, knocks you out, and you become silent. So, the greatness of something shatters you and you become quiet. But you are not quiet. It makes you quiet. Which is, you might just well take a drug, a pill, a tranquilizer. I don't know if you see So, being absorbed by something or absorbed in something, and therefore makes the mind not chatter, is not the end of chattering. So, is beauty out there in the museum, in the picture, in the statue, or it is there also, and if it isn't in you, is anything beautiful, or is it merely a cultural, emotional response, a sentimental response? I wonder if it's a time. Are you like to stop, or shall I finish this? I am absorbed by Mozart or Beethoven or whatever it is. I'm absorbed by it. Therefore, I lie quietly, listen to it completely. It's my toy. And remove that, take it away from it, I'm back again. Or that has absorbed me, or I am absorbed in something. In science, in writing a book, in talking, in this, in that. When that is broken, I'm back again.
Excuse me, but certain music sometimes induce you into a certain quietness, and you take away the music, you are remaining there for a certain period of time.
Oh, come on. For 2 or 3 minutes, Tunke, come on, we know that. I am showing you when something absorbs you, or you are absorbed in something, there is a period of time or space or seconds that your mind is quiet. But it's all an enforcing, conditioning action. Leave all that for the moment. I say to you, what is beauty? I'm asking you. Because beauty, love and goodness go together. If you have no beauty, there is no love, there is no goodness.
Well, when you're looking at a beautiful sunset, at that time, you have no thought of beauty.
That's right. Then later on comes the thought of beauty.
Well, yes.
So thought creates what it considers. Therefore, what thought has created is in the world of... You follow? See the connection, sir.
Well, I see that connection, but when you try and say love and beauty, you often use the word love as though love is not in the same category as beauty.
I know. I said to you just now, love, beauty and goodness are together. They can't be separated. Because if I have no goodness, not the cultivated goodness, you follow? If there is no flowering in goodness, is there beauty? I can admire pictures. I can explain to you most cunningly, most marvelously, the nature of 16th or the 15th century art, as Kenneth Clark does, or some of these people who are talking on the television or civilization, culture, and all the rest of it. Is there, if goodness is not there in your life, in your way of living, can there be beauty? Beauty means a perception of the whole. Not out there, out here, or in here. Perception of the whole. Whole being, healthy, sane, rational, and holy. If all that doesn't exist, what is beauty? Then it's just words and just pictures. I might write a most marvelous poem, lovely poem, but if there is no goodness in me, that poem, I may be a technician. So if there is no love, there is no beauty. I may call my girlfriend or my boyfriend, I love you, but that's just a superficial attraction, superficial pleasure, and it's going to end in disaster. Right? Live that way, sir. Is that enough?
I think we have talked, but we still haven't got really I don't think we have really got.
Huh?
You seem to try to point out something, but
I'm not pointing out anything. I'm saying to you, look. Look at your if you have a limited mind, look at that limited mind. If your mind is mechanical, look at it. If you are caught in belief, which is neurotic, look at it. And if you are caught in the pursuit of endless pleasure, which becomes mechanical, which becomes all the rest of it, just look at it. Give your attention to it. as you do when you see something terribly dangerous.
How do you know? Because I always tend to react. I mean, there's always a reaction.
Look at it. Is when the bus is rushing towards you, the reaction is natural, isn't it? Because the body must protect itself. Therefore, you jump out of the way. If all the things which were described, limited, and neurotic, and mechanical, and all the rest, if that is dangerous to you and to human beings as a whole, you walk out of it. You don't kind of debate about it, argue. Is that enough? That's right.